Good evening and welcome to Just Roll Sixes, a Carnage List review special. If you've spotted the screen, I probably should have done like a live reveal and like a fade from Black to reveal his face. But we do have a special guest with us tonight, and it's not Alex. Who knows if Alex will join us for a review show on his own show, his own tournament. But yes, I'm your host, AOS Pete. And thank you everyone for joining us. I've got two lovely guests. They've been guests of the show before. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, you'll be like, who is the extra special guest? Who is it? Who is it? Well, just wait and find out. And you should have tuned in live to the Twitch show. So my first guest is Johnny. Johnny, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me again, Pete. Nice to be here.
Yeah, so do you want to explain why you're here? You know, are you just some random guy that I picked off the street to join us on the show?
You've not picked me for my mediocre knowledge of Age of Sigmar. This year I'll be graciously helping Alex, the assistant TO, general dog's body, drinks fetcher, and all that kind of thing at Carnage this year.
I mean, you know, Alex does a fantastic job on his own, pulling it together. But having an extra pair of hands, no pun intended, will probably absolutely, you know, help him no end. And you know, who knows, Johnny? I might wave at you and say like, "Hey, Johnny, can I have a drink?" And you know, my games are going to be over super quick this year, so I probably will wave at you and go, "Johnny, let's do shots." You know, welcome on board. Johnny is joining us to help do the list review because, as he says, he is chief assistant to Alex. Johnny, maybe you'll get to spin the wheel.
I mean, I don't know if I can handle that much excitement all weekend. I think I'll probably have to share it out to some of the other people, but I might take the first spin just for funs. Yeah,
just for fun.
It lands on like an auto win one.
Okay. And my second guest, he's been described as the nicest man of Age of Sigmar. So nice that when I tried to throw some absolute shade on him on Twitter earlier, he just replied like, no, you know. So I am joined by the ever so lovely Freddie Leggett of Northern Ireland fame.
Yeah, try to be, yeah.
And Team England fame. And maybe Team England B fame. You know, if Alex turns up on the stream, are you gonna jump ship and maybe join his Team England?
I always thought he was the original captain. So.
Oh my God! Somebody clip that. We need to clip it. Get it off. Get it off. You know, this show is literally watched by literally wands of people, and you know, someone there is going to have seen it, and you know, this could go viral. We're going to go viral for the first time ever. Freddie, thank you so much for stepping in at short notice to join us. Basically, you are here not because of your mediocre knowledge of Age of Sigmar. You're here because of your expert knowledge of Age of Sigmar. For those of us that watched me and Alex do the list review show back in May, it was like 3 hours of rambling and us just going, yeah, it looks like a list. Yeah, can confirm that's an army. And people going like, is that legal? And it's like, I don't know, it's a list. It's been submitted. So you will be adding the expert touch. The expert touch. Try to, yeah. So I've got to give a shout out to the chat. Already we've got people like saying they're excited for this one. The OG Marshy, Phil, saying, yo, just taking Seraphon off. Thank you to Hugh for subscribing. Thank you. You know, using his Prime subscription to subscribe to the show. Thank you so much for that. If anyone does want to subscribe, just hit the button somewhere. It's somewhere it pops up. Who knows? Freddie, are you on the beers? You on the beers?
No.
Oh, no. I thought I was going to say like, wow.
I can't focus on drinking and talking.
I mean,
it's why I can't drink in tournaments. I can't focus on one thing or another.
Well, just so you know, as you have grudged me for round one, we are doing nothing but drinking for round one. That's my secret tactic. Yeah. So, Johnny, when you see me sort of like waving like this at the start of round one, after you've rolled that auto win mission and you see me waving, just bring over the shot of tequilas, mate. Just bring over the tray of tequilas.
Rose tequila, yeah.
I mean, if that's what you want, mate, I'll get him to get the rosé tequila in. Bloody hell!
No, priority tequila. So whoever loses the priority roll off's got to have the shot. Or the winner of the priority roll off.
Or whoever wins priority chooses who has to do the shots. So it could be like,
oh no, that's not. The person who goes second gets to pick. That way, there's a bit more extra spice.
Oh,
in it.
I like that. I like that. I like that. So we've got Drunk Hammer already kicking off with special rules there. But just so you know, like if I won priority, I'd be like, both of us drink, because that's the sort of generous guy I am. So Hugh's saying he can't wait for this. He hasn't played since Facehammer last November. I mean, he's so, it's been so long that he's not even realised like Facehammer, I think, was like September, October, not November. Yeah, who knows? Yeah. I didn't go. But yeah. It's 2 weeks after Carnage this year, I think. So tickets still available, so grab one.
Is it still comped? Is it still
no? Ross has removed the Mad Pack. Like I'm using your words there. Yeah. But yeah, he's removed all the comps, so it's just a straight Warhammer tournament. So yeah, get a ticket if you want to go to another event. If you're watching this and you're thinking these guys are absolutely, completely nuts or mad, big shout out to the mad lads. If you're thinking they're mad and you'd like to join us, Alex may put you on a ticket. Who knows? I don't know if there's odd numbers, if there's spare players or whatever, but when he's on the show, we'll ask if there can be some late minute entries to the tournament. But yeah, so enough chatting and introduction. I'm not going to get you to do your origin stories, because basically, Phil's subscribing as well. Oh, what top bloke! I love it. It's just me chatting random shit with my Age of Sigmar mates and people subscribing. I love it. At some point, Phil will be coming on the show because I want to talk about the Brothers' War, of which Freddie was my first signing for the Brothers' War. I was like, "Hey, we're gonna drag this boy's win rate down."
I'll do that myself. Don't worry.
Yeah. So yeah, I won't get you to do the origin stories. It's you're both long-time Warhammer players. You're both sort of known for being associated with various armies. So I'd say Johnny, you're known for probably Skaven. Johnny subscribing. Johnny Welch. We've got a hype train close now. So Johnny, you're known for your Skaven. Dave subscribed.
Or Skaven. Yes.
I know. Freddie, you're known for your Bok, I think, and your Cities of Sigmar weird lists.
Yeah, I think they're the two main ones. Yeah.
Oh man, Lyndon subscribed. He's on a 3-month streak. I didn't even know the show had been going for 3 months. Oh, okay. Well, big shout out to Lyndon. I am absolutely looking forward to his This is Sigmar list. I don't know if you guys caught the show a couple of weeks ago when he was on, and basically he just straight up has done this fantastic Spartan style. What's the army called? Oh my god. Stormcast, yeah. Brain was just not working there. So this absolutely amazing Spartan Stormcast army, which I'm calling it now, if he doesn't get at the bare minimum a nomination for painting, I would be very, very surprised. I think actually 2 of the people who I would tip for being in the top 3 for painting are both in this chat. So Hugh, absolutely amazing painting. His Seraphon have absolutely always been amazing, and Lyndon's stuff is always just amazing as well. So we've got some very, forget the gaming, guys. We could have done a whole show on the painting meta. None of us being quite qualified.
I assume one of my little jobs will be to go and look at some of the armies this time and help pick out some of the painting. Although Alex has told me before, I'm a bit too more like a magpie. He looks very much for the quality of painting. For me, anything showy or flashy, I'm all for it. So I love a conversion, me, over painting. I can see the hours gone into doing some green stuff. I very much appreciate that over the painting.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, it's one of those. So I'm going to give a secret tip away because Alex isn't here and he's turned up late. So I'm going to give a secret tip away. Alex has a special technique for looking at armies. He has like a 3-stage approach to how he judges armies. So it's like the up close, the sort of there, and then the sort of, I think it's like the 1 meter away effect. So he literally will look at armies like really up close, see the detail, then he'll take a step or two back, and then he'll take the sort of the distance view. So if your armies, can't hold up to that level of scrutiny, you're probably fucked. You're not getting it on. And Johnny, I love how the faith and confidence you have that Alex is going to let you pick, potentially pick something. Like he's basically going to probably like fly Byron in as a special like guest just to come and look at armies because but yeah, he's never going to trust us mere mortals.
He'll tell me I can pick, and I'll go, oh, okay, cool, and then just give me a job while I go around.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely, thanks for the list, and then we didn't make it.
Yeah. I couldn't read your writing, mate. Yeah, but I did it in like block capitals. I typed it out. I printed multiple copies, and it'd be like, no. So Hugh says, can he grudge Lyndon so he can pervert his army for a few hours? Lyndon, the challenge has been set. I mean, if you want a fantastic fucking game one, I can highly recommend Hugh. So if you want to grudge each other, like, go for it. Absolutely. Tom Blacksall from Mad is in the chat, and some of his armies, again, he's won painting awards and stuff. Absolutely fantastic painters. And then there's me, like I'm literally like just slap chopping my gits at the back there just to try and get them done in time. Literally. Yeah, I sprayed my my squig herd because I didn't build them because again it's lean into the filth but not all the way. Sprayed it with Mephiston red and then messaged in several group chats going, what shade should I throw over it just to give it some depth so it doesn't look like I've just base coated it. I'm a gamer, not a painter. I mean, like literally, like this is my shit suffocating grave tide, which I'm not running, but it's like it's crap. There's white bits. It's yeah.
I mean, even I can compete with that. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I guess. So,
I mean, like that's my burning head. It's literally just contrast paint. And then we've got my contrast Skaven, which is still doing the rounds on the internet. Somebody in a Skaven group the other day on Facebook literally was like, oh, I've seen this cool scheme where literally it's like grayscale and then you add some like warp lightning stuff and that. And this guy went, oh yeah, no, hang on. There was this great thing and then linked back to my army that caused loads of controversy like years ago. So that was my concept army. You can tell that Alex isn't here because I'm showing a concept army. Technically, it's 3 colours.
I like it.
Yeah.
I did basically
it's effective at distance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, at a distance. So I did a whole army like that, and then basically like did the eyes in red, so the eyes sort of popped on every model. I repainted it, so I did a tournament with it. I repainted it, and my excuse as to why I repainted it was I said, it's not fair on my opponents. Sometimes they can't see where one line of like Clan Rats ends and the next one starts. It was basically because I couldn't fucking work out which unit was which. I was like, they're too close together. And that was the time when you would literally just string like 120 Clan Rats across the board. Yeah. So I was like, I need to know which unit's which. So I still have some stuff that's the sort of contrast and concept, but the rest of it got fully painted anyway. So quickly, before we jump into looking at some lists and stuff, and thank you everybody who's subscribing. We got a hype train, which is absolutely amazing. I don't know what it does, but I think you guys who've subscribed, you get a nice little custom emote in the chat, which is a little Just Roll Sixes logo. Let me see if I can throw it in the chat. There we go. Oh, look at that! Created my own little custom emote. I'm fucking like. I know tech. Anyone who says I don't know tech. There we go. Dave, he subscribed. He's done. You can see everyone just rolling sixes. Love it. So, Freddie, you played at Warhammer World this weekend.
Yeah.
So, not to put you on the spot, but but also to put you on the spot. So, first tournament in 6 months. So, since Worlds, was it? Since Worlds?
Yeah. I mean, excluding Worlds, it was the first tournament since Slaughter. Yeah.
Since Slaughter? Oh, bloody hell. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so back to it and went straight into the Dragon's Den sort of thing. And it was, it started lovely.
Yeah.
Wonderful day one. Had the time of my life on top tables.
Yeah.
And then day two came and I thought, you know what, I'll put on like a Worlds jersey, you know, make it look like, you know.
You did not. You did not.
I did. The thing is, I got Speckles and all the other Bash lads were like, oh, we'll wear Bash t-shirts and all that lot, and I was like, no, I'll wear a Worlds top. And I went there, and I probably played the best Warhammer of my life for game 4 and 5, and I got spanked. Like I got run up and down the table. I did everything I could, and I lost to OBR and Soulblight. And then by game 6, I was probably the most saltiest person. I apologise to whoever I played. I refused to play him. I was like, fuck this game. I don't care. Just take the win. I'm not getting a golden ticket. I don't care anymore. I just let the game get to me, I think. So 3-all. So
I and for those that are thinking, what 3-all? So Warhammer World, because it was a golden ticket event, they did 6 games as opposed to the standard 5. Which World's top did you wear?
It was Belgium.
Can you wear that for our game?
Well, what it was I was trying to psych someone out because I was like, the other two top players were French,
right?
And I brought the French like old captain for Belgium because they're basically the same fucking team.
Oh, he's really. Are you sure you're not drinking, Freddie?
And it backfired big time.
I love that. I mean,
again.
I lost £10,000 because I bet on you to win the tournament because after day 1 you were 3-0, and I think I messaged you saying like, "Go get it, boy," or something. You know, you'll smash it up or something. Put all my money on you, and I'm now back to square zero. So thanks, Freddie. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
I thought it's sure thing. It's a sure thing. I didn't know you were going to turn up wearing a bloody World's top and try and flex.
Yeah, and to be honest, I thought I could push like. Probably a 2-bad army uphill, and it was hard work.
I mean, Alex Tubb in the chat is saying basically Pete's curse. So apparently, anyone I back to win loses, but that can't be true because you've won many a tournament, Freddie, and I've backed you to win many a tournament.
I think you have messaged me after day 1 and said go and get it.
Yeah.
So I'll let you off.
So I think though, Tubbs probably thinking, okay, whoever I back to win the tournament in the list review is going to lose. So we'll see whether that holds true when we do a post-tournament review. But yeah, okay, Freddie, unlucky on the 3-3, mate. But
no,
you weren't running an optimal list, were you?
No, it was just Centigore, Slangor. It was
Slangor.
It was fucking hilarious when people were like, try and read the war scroll in front of me, and I'm like, they're going again. They're fighting twice.
I love that though, because you are a meta breaker. You are a player who is well known now. I'm sure that most people, if they came up against you now, would be looking, going like, "Go on, what's the secret tech?" And you're like, "I just picked a load of random units using this random generator, and it picked 3 battle line. It picked."
Joe, what? There is something there with Slangor, like with the rituals and like that. You can make him move D6 in any phase. You can they're doing 11-inch move, and I think in one hit you can do 50 damage.
50 damage.
Activation.
Bloody hell!
So with a Hoarfrost, with like all the pluses to rend, like they will delete it whatever they touch.
So, unless it's OBR or Soulblight Gravelords.
Yeah, because at that point it just. Yeah, it just comes back, doesn't it?
Yeah, Johnny, if you
I also feel every list has got that now. You go, I forget Hoarfrost off on it. It's good. You're like, well, every list.
I was going to say, is that you with your clan rats these days? You're like, if I get Hoarfrost up with my 3d6 with the Warpstone, I'm like loving life.
I'm playing tomorrow, unit of 30 Plague Monks. That's my plan to get Hoarfrost off onto the Plague Monks.
Yeah, I mean, Plague Monks, yes.
If it happens, it is as good as it gets.
Yeah. Okay. All right, chaps. Well, let's jump into it then. So I've done some stats. I've pulled some stats together. By no means are they as good as like some other honest type of wargamer and his stats. These are just the see what I did there. They're not as good as those. They are just some stats that I pulled together on a little PowerPoint. We're going to attempt to see whether the tech works. And hopefully it does. So in the chat, when it comes up, please let me know that you can actually see the and read the stuff. So no, I need to go to that. So in the chat, can you see, can you read the front bit of the PowerPoint?
PowerPoint presentation, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can see the Mancunian Carnage logo, yeah?
Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. So I'm having to get quite adept at doing PowerPoint presentations for interviews and stuff. So this is way worse than any of those, I want to say, because anyone who sees this PowerPoint would be like, fucking hell, no wonder he can't get a job. It's awful. So here are the stats for summer Carnage 2023. And yes, even though it's in September, we checked the dates. It is still technically part of summer. So, right, here we go. Oh, he says, come on. Oh, no. It was working before. What have I done? Right, hang on.
There you go.
Right, there we go. So, faction count. No. Oh, it's going to be a pain. I know it is. Okay, so faction count. So we have 12 Order armies. We have 10 Chaos armies, 13 Death, and leading the way, 15 Destruction armies. 15 guys who are absolutely crazy, wanting to bring...
Heroes.
Yeah, just...
Real heroes.
Absolutely, just wanting to bring stuff and just go, yeah, cool, I'm going to throw things at stuff. So, a bit more of a breakdown. Oh, come on. Oh, why is it doing this? How do I get it so that it does that? Right, hang on. Oh, it was like literally. Didn't we have this working before?
I mean, I didn't see it.
Oh, thanks, Freddie. Cheers, mate. Right, bear with me, chat, because it's a weird thing where literally I have to click on that, but then I need to make sure that's there. Why won't it do
Quality
it?
podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're listening to this, yeah.
Fantastic presentation.
I'll do the audio repair thing. So right now we are looking at a PowerPoint show that's refusing to work. Just for those of you listening on a dog walk or however you enjoy this.
So Steve, basically, yeah. I don't know, like literally, yeah, it is Steve. Steve is the dog walker. So basically, it just won't let me do the bits in between. I'm having to jump back between the screens. So here we go. Here's the faction count. So starting from the least represented through to the most represented, and I will read out because we are a podcast as well. Daughters of Cain, just one person running those. Fire Slayers, just one. Slaanesh, one. Cruel Boys, some mad lad out there running Cruel Boys, and it's not Mike Chatterton. Maggot, Nurgle, just one player. OBR. Now, this is the shocking one, lads. Are you surprised that we're only seeing one OBR army?
Massively, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big, especially with how good they are now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I should say that this is at the time of list submission. So there was like 3 people who hadn't submitted lists. So they have submitted since, but it was after I'd done the stats. So there might be another OB army, but one. So in the 2 army category, so 2 people running them, we've got Beasts of Chaos, Blades of Khorne, Flesh Eater Courts. Now remember, this is Flesh Eater Courts post Nagash nerf. So I think pre-Nagash nerf, that probably would have been around 75 Flesh Eater Courts armies, and they would have all just been Nagash and Ghouls. But they've changed now. So 2 people running Iron Jaws. I'm not sure if they got the memo about Big War existence and the 2 extra battle tactics, but fair play to them. 2 brave, adventurous, stunning-looking, fantastic people running Gargants. Like, I mean, in this meta, in this economy, it is, yeah. In this economy, running Gargants, just heroes, true heroes. I'm one of them. Spoiler alert. 2 people running Stormcast Eternals, 2 people running Sylvaneth, and then we start moving into some of the bigger numbers. So Gits, 3 people, fair play. 3 people running Ogres. That's some tasty lists there, potentially. 4 people running Orruk War Clans. That's Big War. Like, I don't even know why it says Orruk War Clans. It's just Big War. Like, I should have just... Yeah, but I think it's...
There is a Gits one, isn't there? There is a Gits.
Yeah, 3 people are running Gits. But the Oryx... Gits aren't Oryx, Freddie. Come on.
No, sorry, I wasn't reading the list properly. Sorry.
No.
How come Crawl Boys have been split out? Aren't they technically classed as Auric War clans?
This is because people have put things in different columns, and I just copied the column over. So really, it should have been like Auric War clans in one column, and then Cruel Boys and Big War. So
there could be 2 more Crawl Boys then, right? They could all be Crawl Boys at Auric War. That's what we're saying. That's the real.
Spoiler alert, Johnny. It ain't. It's 4 Big Wireless. So we've got 4 Slaves to Darkness lists, which is quite surprising, actually. That it's quite represented in the meta. And one of them isn't Big Phil, although it is Big Phil's army. It is Big Phil's army, I believe. And then we've got 5 Nighthaunt.
Oh no, it's brave.
Dave in the chat saying he thought he was going off meta with Nighthaunt, but 5 people running Nighthaunt. That sounds like it's Dave plus 4 people who got the Start Collecting magazine or something from before and was just like, cool. And next tournament round they'll have finished the book and they'll have got the Crawl Boys. They'll have finally built that. By the way, guys, I should say, if you're listening to this and you're thinking this guy's a dickhead and he's just slating me, yes, that's what I do. I'm just having a bit of fun, and I don't mean any real offence with it. 5 Seraph Fun lists. See what I did there? Seraph Fun. And then 5 Soulblight lists. Freddie's face just said it all! Oh. Freddie's face.
It's horrible.
Oh, right. I'm going to try and figure out a way quickly where I can actually run the PowerPoint. And the reason being is because I can do some guessing. So if I do that, so let's go. Okay, so you guys can't... Johnny, you've got Discord up. So not Discord, you've got the Twitch up so you can see, can't you? So the screen now should just be the PowerPoint. So Freddie, unfortunately, you won't be able to see, but I'll read it out and you can make some guesses. Yeah. So let's do some battalion stats. So Battle Regiment, chaps. How many times, in chat, join along as well, how many times do you think the Battle Regiment was taken?
How many lists was there? Like
50 odd.
50. Probably about 30.
About 30. Johnny?
25.
Higher. 40.
40. Okay, anyone in the chat, feel free to join in. It's just guessing game. People in the podcast who are listening back, watch it live. It's okay as a podcast. It's much better live. So John has gone for 40 as well. So John and Johnny have gone for 40. Okay, so it was 40 exactly.
Oh, he's seen the spreadsheet. He's seen it before.
He did. I couldn't even get it to bloody work before. What are you on about? So Battle Regiment. So the Andorian Acolytes. So for those of you that haven't played the game yet and are tuning into a list review show, why, for a start, but thank you for tuning in. So this is the one that lets you on a 3-up. If you've got your 2 or more locuses in the battalion, still alive, you get to roll a 3-up and get an extra primal dice. So there was a list that won with this at the weekend in Australia, I think it was, and they had this battalion on. But the problem was they were running a KO list without any wizards. So I don't know whether they didn't read all of it. It's not just like if the 2 people in the list are alive, you can roll some dice. But yeah, so how many times, Freddie, do you think the Acolytes battalion was taken? And again, chat joining.
I didn't realise how good it was. I played the first 2-3 games with it just being in my turn.
Yeah.
But it's both. Yeah. And after that, I was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go like 15.
15. Johnny?
45.
45?
25.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say like 45. Bloody hell, more than one drop armies. 25. Okay. So 16 times. Close. I think if you're not going for that 1 drop, like this is almost an auto include if you're running a wizard list. Hugh, basically, this is a great battalion. You put 2 wizards in it who are locuses, and on a 3-up in each hero phase, you get an extra primal dice, mate. It's madness.
It's huge. Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Warlord, the old traditional Warlord, because it's basically Battle Regiments and Warlord. That's pretty much The standard. Freddie, how many times do you think Warlord was taken?
20.
20, Johnny?
I'll go just under 17.
17, okay. 11. Only 11 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think with some of the lists, you're having to be forced to take the Acolytes one, or, you're taking the Battle Regiment. So, yeah, only 11 times with the battalion. So,
just I mean, yeah, you can't run Acolytes and Warlord without taking 5 heroes. So
which,
it's a lot heavy. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, have you heard of Big War? All the fucking heroes. But just remember, you can't put your Maniac Weird Knob in the battalion for Acolytes because he's got a mount. Okay? Just remember that, cheating bastards. So these are the weird stats. So the lowest bid for a triumph. So what was the lowest points coming in for a triumph? How low do you think people went to try and guarantee that triumph? Johnny?
I mean, you're asking, as you mentioned, a stable player, so like high drops and not having any change left is normally my life. So let's go. I'm going to try and channel my my try hard here. Let's do 1920.
1920, okay.
I'll go a bit higher. 1940.
1940, okay. So we've got the chat. We've got some guests in the chat. Lyndon's gone 1940. War Cheby's gone 1920. Phil's gone 1930. It's one of those where, like, a couple of months ago when Gits were, like, riding high and you really wanted to avoid that battle shock, you would absolutely come in low. And KO as well. Some of the KO players would come in for that. +1 to wound with the... with your Thunderers to get the triumph there. Look at me talking as if I know what the fuck I'm on about with the game. 1930 with Andy Bryan.
Oh,
with his
he's Beast Riders, isn't it? So
yeah,
you just can't fit anything more in.
Exactly. There's nothing exists for 70 points in the army. Otherwise, I'm sure he'd have stuck it in. Sorry. I've confused Tom with Phil there. Sorry, Tom. Sorry, I see Marshy come up, and I forget there's OG Marshy, real Marshy. Like, sort your shit out, guys. Just have a fight, maybe some sort of tournament where you go at war with each other, and then the winning one gets to claim to be the real Marshall brother. So yeah, maybe I don't know, run it in March or something. 5 players to a team. Do that sort of thing, guys. Right. Highest drops, and this is based on those that listed it because there was no way I was going through every list and counting them. So the highest number of drops, chaps.
It's got to be something like a Soul Blight, like a 15 or something like that.
15, okay.
15.
15. Johnny?
I know there's a piece of chaos list I picked out later, and that's like all the drops as well. I don't know if it's as many as 15. Let's go 14.
14, okay. Lyndon's gone 17. Tom Marshall has gone 16. Alex Tubbs gone 13. It was 13. And Alex went for 13 because he's one of the people that had 13 drops. So
and 2 of them are Big War, yeah.
Three of them are Big War. So Alex Tubb, Gareth Hall, Mike Chatterton, all running Big War, all 13 drops. So I mean, it's almost like there's some sort of net list that's going around on Big War type thing, but they're not all the same. So that's interesting.
They're not, no.
So Alex unbanned the Incarnate for this tournament. I played a small part in this because I said to him, perhaps you should maybe consider unbanning the Incarnate because, it's part of a battle tactic now. There's a spell, etc. So it feels like it should be a part of the game. I didn't realise that filthy wargamers were going to use the Rupture spell on their own bloody Incarnate to send it wild. Otherwise, I'd have just said, Alex, keep the ban in place. Fuck everybody who's going to try and ruin the game. But yeah. So, Freddie, how many Incarnates do you think we're going to see at Carnage for the first time ever? Because he's had them banned ever since they were released.
I think there's a lot of nice people going, so I'm going to go with 2. Only 2. I think only 2 people will do it to us.
Only 2 people, okay. Johnny?
I have less faith in humanity. I'm going to go for 7.
7 Incarnates, bloody hell. Okay, Lyndon's gone for 1.
It's also it's a battle tactic as well now. As well, you can.
Yeah.
It's the wizards or the 7.
But it also does mean that like people can do it to you, so it's giving up a battle tactic as well. You know,
Yeah,
so
well, they tried it, yeah.
yeah. So Dave has gone for 9. Tom's gone for 7. It's 4.
Oh,
Just the 4 incarnates.
there's
So
space, yeah.
and one of them is in a list we were sort of having a chuckle about before the show. So we'll, we won't name who it is, but Richard Wigmore, we were chuckling over your Seraphon. You're already taking Seraphon. Why do you need the crutch of an incarnate as well? Come on, Rich. You're a nice guy. I've met you.
Be nice guy,
Yeah. Come on. Okay. Now, I think this is the last of the stats, but who are the most popular clubs? I'm not going to get you to guess because it's like random and stuff. I'm just going to show them out as the most popular clubs. So this Carnage is basically like, it seems like quite a lot of clubs are coming to the event and have bought sort of team tickets and stuff. So Gaff, just 3. What's gone on with Gaff? Like, come on, lads. Like, you used to at least have, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 of you. Like, what's gone on? Lyndon, what's gone on? Like, I know, like, Mark's messaged me and said, like, everyone's playing 40 scummy K, but come on. And you can message Louis about this. Is it just that, Toby was the real glue of that club, and because he's not really playing, you've fallen apart? Disgusting. 3 from Gaff. Everyone make sure you bully them when you see them. They don't have the strength in numbers this time. Beasts from the East have got 5 players coming.
Good effort.
Yeah. So I'm going to get called out by it at some point because the West Midland Wargamers didn't really have all of them sort of linked, so they're not really sort of, if you can't be bothered to put your club name in the thing, then I can't count it. Lance and Buckler, 5, but it's 6 really, because Big Phil Marshall has listed himself as Tough Crowd. But, he's moved on from his roots now. He's international. It's international. Maudsley saying it should just be alliance friendship now because there's nothing grand about it. Tom Maudsley. Then the Mad Lads, 6 of us going. 7 if you count Alex. It's his tournament. I should have counted him. Would have been 7.
I mean, really, if he's your local one, you should be the most out of this.
We're not, though.
They bother to go a mile away.
But we're not. The Cheltenham War Chiefs, 9 players coming. Cheltenham War Chiefs.
Commitment.
Well played, lads. Well played. And ladies, if there's any ladies, I haven't actually checked, but well played. Great to see. But it's good to see so many clubs coming to sort of an event and stuff. And like I say, the West Midland WMW will probably have similar numbers, or the Beasts from the East are an offshoot from them. They're in, but yeah, so it's good. So those are the weird stats. So let's do some changing of technology again. Oh, hate it. If it's going to be a pain for the listeners,
I'm just going to grab a drink.
Okay, no worries. Bearing in mind that obviously you're the first person on the list to review, but we'll see Johnny again in a short second. Right, let's see if I can get this working where it was working before. So if I do that, let's just quickly go. So just while Johnny's run off to go wherever he's going to get a drink. He told me that. I don't know why I'm saying sort of like I don't know where he's going. Let's see. Right. So it's going to work. Perfect. So at least it works on this. Right. Okay. I just gave away a big reveal there if people saw it scrolling quickly. But basically, the way that we're doing this is that and do you know what? Oh no, every time I do that, it does that. Can people see the lists in there? Can they see the screen, and can they read stuff? If not, let me know, because what I can do is I can zoom in a bit more, actually, probably. He says technology, eh? Let's do that. Thank you, Tom. There we go. So the way that I've asked my guests to do this is basically that I got them to pick sort of their top lists, And then from their top list, I also got them to pick what like a wild card or just a weird and wacky list that they saw that they quite like the idea of. And then from that as well, I also got them to pick who they thought would take out the event. And Freddie has come in at lastminute.com because Alex is stuck in London. And so Freddie's picked his list. So we're going to sort of deal with Johnny's. We're going to go through Freddie's, and then I'll do mine at the end. So we're not going to do all of the lists. And because Alex is here, I can't tell you when all of the lists will be released, unfortunately. Last time we did all of the lists, and it was just us sort of randomly, drunkenly talking for like 3 hours and going, it's the corn list. I think it moves in the hero phase. And it turns out, yes, that's exactly all it does. That's all a corn list does.
Yeah.
Or, you know, some other sort of insightful knowledge like that. I mean, I've played a little bit more now. So of this edition, I've played a few more armies, so I can offer up a little bit more of an opinion. But when we did the last one, it was like there were so many new books just flying out. Just could not tell you what most of them did. This is me just filling air because Johnny has literally left and it's his picks to start with. So Freddie, so just before, like, while we're waiting for Johnny, what was your process for picking your lists? Short of you gave me 10 minutes, Pete, and I literally went, ugh.
Do I have to talk about my list again, or
not your lists? Don't talk about the lists. What was your process? What were you looking for in these lists?
Just something that I could, something that I already had, and something that I could I could build competitive in the meta that's currently taking place, which is like a heavy spell, heavy board control sort of meta. So yeah, I think it's got a good play.
Okay.
So yeah, good. We'll see. Yeah.
Say hello, everyone, to Johnny's little lad, who I'm hoping is going to be an AOS player rather than a 40k player. So when you were looking through these the tournament list, Freddie, to pick your top 3, your top 4, did you look at the player first, and you were going, okay, I think this player with this list? You went by player first, so you went for skill.
I'd be lying to say I wasn't looking at player first,
okay,
and see who's going first. And there was a few names that popped up straight away. And then after that, I then dive into actual lists. And so, I mean, all my picks are not obvious ones. So.
And also, we sort of bullied you by saying some of us might have picked them already. So could you pick someone else? So Johnny, what's your little lad called?
I remember to turn the muting it. I couldn't turn the camera off. Henry.
Is his name. Is he? Has he started engaging in the hobby yet, or is he a bit too young still?
He is the reason I now own a Nighthaunt army. In the fact that I was trying to, as a buffer, to try and stop him trying to paint my models. So I had some Nighthaunt knocking about, like everyone does. I'm sure everyone's got Nighthaunt somewhere in a box. And he was trying to get into some of my vermin laws. It's like, no, look at these like chain rafts. This is what you want. And he started painting them, and then suddenly he was like, oh, what other models do they do? And then now I own all the Nighthaunt, bar Nagash, and he wants the Gash as well. That'll be the next one.
I mean, I was about to say, like, just remind me when you're coming up, and I'll bring some Nighthaunt models you can have. But I don't have a spare Nagash, mate. You know? But if he wants some chain rafts to paint, I'll chuck you some chain rafts. So Johnny,
I'll take all offers.
Again, anyone who's listening, if you come into Carnage and you've got some spare Nighthaunt kicking around that you don't really want and you're not bothered about, just give them to Johnny, and we can get another youngster on the AOS train, and we're going to need him because eventually us old gits will die out. And I'm talking just for myself there because I'm probably the oldest person on this chat and also doing the list reviews. Brilliant. So Johnny, right, we're going to go through your picks in a second. So I asked sort of Freddie, how did he pick his picks? And he said that he looked at the player first, then the lists. So what was your approach for picking your picks?
A bit of both. I tried to ignore the names, and then I'd look through the list, and then I was playing a little game myself where if I saw a filth list, I then check the name and be like, yeah, Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, of course I've got it. If a person, if I haven't recognised the name and they've got filth, I don't know. Could be a dark horse, but if you pair a good pilot, I think, with a dirty list, then you're like, all right, well, they've got to have a good shot, haven't they? And I guess normally good players tend to pick good lists anyway. So, or is it the other way around? But yeah. It's
interesting. Okay, good approach. Okay, Johnny, so we're going to jump into it. So the first list that you picked was Phil Marshall's. So Phil Marshall running Big War, Grand Strategy War. So for those that actually, sorry, Johnny, do you know what this list does? Do you want to talk us through?
I know what this list does. I know what I know. Also, it's quite popular. I don't believe in for a second that Phil doesn't know what he's doing with it. He'll magically turn up and be like, "Oh, does it do that?" And just like railing through everyone.
Okay, so what's his grand? So talk us through the list though. So I'll do some scrolling. So Grand Strategy War. So talk us through this list as I scroll. So what's the War Grand Strategy then?
Oh, you've asked me the wrong. That's the one bit I'm not sure of.
Okay, so War, as I learned midway through a game 2, because I got it wrong, so you need to keep your battle line or a general alive and in your opponent's territory. I just thought it was keep it alive, so I was just keeping my general and my battle line alive, and then my opponent was like, it's got to be in my territory. I was like, thank fuck I've got Hand of Gork. Thank God.
Thank God you have a teleport.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so talk us through this then. So, talk us through it, Johnny. I'll scroll, mate. You tell me when to start.
We got the Auric Weird Knob Shaman, obviously super well priced little spellcaster there. He's playing as general with Shame of the Chilled Lands. Law of the Weird is the Hand of Gork, obviously, and Foot of Gork. Just handy little spellcaster there. I imagine if you scroll down, just quickly for the battalions. I didn't clock those. I'm actually got the pictures up here as well, obviously.
So he's gone for Warlord, Acolytes, and Battle Regiment.
Yeah, exactly. So he's just filling out, as we mentioned earlier, for the Andorian Acolytes. You need the 3. Oh, is it 2? No, 3.
2 Locusts, but you can have 3. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's got the Battle Regiment as well. So trying to keep the drops down while he's at it. But the Burgog Prophet, one of my favourite little units. It's still one of those things where no matter how many models I get stared off on the table, I can't feel bad about it because it does just feel like a little roulette game. So I get as invested in it as anyone. The artifact, the glowing tattoos, with levitate and hoarfrost. So I don't know if the trick there is to get a better view of what you're about to stick a load of rend on. That's a nice little trick there. War Chanter with Fixing Beat, War Chanter with Get and Beat, get standard. Normally have those with paired that with a what's it called? Maw Crusher, but obviously haven't got that going here. Gobsprak, Mouth Gork, Gobsprak is in a lot of lists at the moment, doing well with his being able to do D3 mortals back, right? On the card.
Well, it's D3 if it's below 10, but if you get a 10 unbind, 10 plus, it's D6. Which is absolutely it's caught a few people out. Like I've explained it at the start of the game, and then you go through it again. They're like, "So what?" And I popped like a little hero off because if you're just roll 6s, most heroes 5-6 wounds. It's like Bosh. There you go. Take your little fucking Zinchian wizard off. You've only got you've only got 20 more of them left.
Yeah, I mean, I've got all my little guys, little grey seers. I've got rolling around with like 5-6 wounds. It's not a good look. And Maniac Weird Knob. Just getting some bit of the Mount Trait Fasten, Blizzard, and Gorkamorka's War Cry. So lots of little heroes, but they're all doing a job. So
this do you know what the little trick with the Weird Knob is? You basically you are literally just firing it like a little missile straight into your opponent and casting Blizzard. So you can do teleport, you can do hero phase move if you want. So you teleport outside of 12, hero phase move, so you're then within 3 if you want to, or 12 of something that's not been screened out properly. Roll your dice, 4d6, timber, and there goes your very expensive Gargan. So that's one to if you're playing against Phil, screen out and then screen out again.
And screen out more,
Yeah,
it's such a cheap little thing as well because again, if you lose it like 100 points, like it's nothing, right?
Or you teleport within 9, You fail Blizzard, and because obviously you can't move after you've teleported, you just fasten to move your little guy back 12. So all of a sudden, he's much further back, and you're not going to be able to get into him, and you can have another go next time. So yeah, so it's a nice little bit of tech there. Nice little bit of tech.
Yeah.
Sorry, Johnny, I was jumping all over you, mate. There. So yeah, going on to his battle line.
No, I mean, battle line, see, this is just to fill out the bits here, but it's just all the Ard boys, so 15 Ard boys, 10 Ard boys, and 5 Ard boys. So yeah, just a nice bit of screens there. And with 15 Ard boys, is no slouch, though. It's going to be difficult to shift.
Yeah.
6 unit of Gore Grunters, again,
They
still think they're really decent, Gore Grunters.
Johnny, you've missed his secret tech there. 20 shooters. He's got.
I did, you know what? Because it's gone as a sub
Yes,
thing there.
yeah.
I just saw that as there's a banner on the Ard boys. But no, you're right. Yes, it's and the 20 shooters as well. I'd have missed that entirely if I'd playing him as well. Going, well, where these guys come from? Yeah, the 20 boot can shooters. Yeah.
And then, yes, like you say, six grunters, 3 grunters, geminids in there as well.
So much stuff, isn't it? You get so much.
There's a lot of wounds, like 170 wounds, but yeah, it's very good list.
It is a very good list. And I think, he's got teleport, he's got levitate, so if you pin him in, he can still cast something to try and fly over. He's got reach with the gore hackers, he's got a little bit of shooting with the shooters, even like Hoarfrost going off, Gobsprack shutting your magic down, like that is a techie list.
It's not just that, you could do all that things and then still do 5 battle tactics without fighting.
Yeah.
So
for those of you that haven't looked at Big War since the sort of the battle scroll update, so battle tactic 1, what Phil does is he puts his Gobsprack next to some terrain when he sets up, and he goes, battle tactic 1, I'll have my Gobsprack within 3 inches of some terrain. Yeah, that's my first battle tactic. And you're like, what? And you're like, yeah, as long as I've got some Cruel Boys unit next to some terrain. No, seriously, what? And it's like, no, that's Battle Tactic 1. And Battle Tactic 2, I've just got to have 2 or more Iron Jaws units within, not wholly within 3 inches of the centre of the board. So if you're playing him, just measure the fucking centre of the board out straight away. Save some time, mark it so that you can try and block it off. But yeah, 170 wounds as well in that. 170 wounds, good output. So yeah, I can see why you picked that, Johnny. Great list. So your next list, Craig Baton with OBR.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Well, I'll be honest. I thought there would be loads of OBR. I've had the fortune/misfortune of having playing up against Null Myriad a few times, and yeah, it's not fun, but it really does do some work.
Don't you mean the lesser taken Null Myriad, as Games Workshop said this week?
Yeah.
The lesser taken sub-faction Null Myriad. That made me chuckle.
Yeah. I think they were willing it into existence by saying that, just by making, look, if we say it enough that no one will think it's cool. I remember we had at Teams, Warhammer World Teams, we went with Orc Bum Chat. Poor Alex got stuck up against Null Myriad when he was running his Iron Jaws, not Big War, was it? Was it Big War? I can't remember.
No, it was Darren with his Seraphon casting against Null Myriad.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Seraphon who really casting had a bad time.
Yeah. So go on, talk us through this list then, Johnny. So he's gone for Null Myriad. So for those that don't know, 2+ spell ignore. Roll the dice.
Yeah,
2+.
I mean, it's so strong, strong. There's so many different armies, especially in this meta. It's insane. Grand strategy is spell casting Savant. Not gonna lie, no idea what it does.
It's keep your wizard general alive, which you think is quite hard to do, but when you've got those Immortis guards, you ain't killing them. Like you unless you got some way of pulling that bastard away from them, you ain't doing it.
Yeah. Like, say, for example, Beast of Chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, moving on.
So we got Bone Shaper as the general, command trait Dark Acolytes, Artifacts of Power, Artisan's Key, and spells Drain Vitality. We've got an Ossifector with this Blizzard, because why not? Catacross, obviously Beat Stick with all the wounds. I think he's good for his points. He's just done a lot for the army. Death Riders, so a bit of speed there to pin players in. With then, as you mentioned previously, really the Immortus Guard. So reinforced units in Immortus Guards. Yeah, they just don't die, and they just do so much work. Stalkers, nice option. Could have gone for more Immortus, but Stalkers, I guess, were a bit of options. And the Morghast as well, which the Morghasts, I don't know, I've never seen them do middling. I've seen them do loads or nothing.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see what version of the Morghast they get.
Yeah, he gets he gives a bit of range threat, in terms of
Deep strike.
teleport setup. Yeah, and Joy is just a very good list. I mean, you don't realise that command trait. I think that's the one where you can't unbind it.
It is, yeah. First spell, it can't be unbound, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then he's Drain Vitality, which is +1 to hit, -1 save, and +1 to hit or something like that. Or
and Catacross is just giving out a buff of +1 to hit or whatever across the board.
+1 to hit, +1 to save, board wide, -1 to hit, board wide, CP steal. Bonkers.
Yeah. And he's gone for the Acolyte, so he's getting the extra primal dice there. He's gone for the Battle Regiment.
I think, it's just one of them. I think this is one of your builds, and you run it in Acolytes and that, or you run you run it with Archon.
Yeah.
And you take out one of the Immortus Guards, and it's basically the same fucking list.
I think. And Craig, he knows what he's doing. He's been running OBR for a while. I think he'll do quite well with this, to be honest.
Yeah, and he's a lovely person.
Yeah, he is.
When you get tabled by it, it helps.
Yeah, it's obviously it's quite slow movement. He's only got one unit of Death Riders in there, but he doesn't need to be fast.
It's not slow though. It moves what?
+3. Yeah, +3. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming for you.
Yeah, true. Okay, good.
You can't do anything to it. I think that's the problem. There's so many armies where if you're relying on magic to get through, obviously on the 2-up, that's your plan's just foiled immediately, and then it's just having those options. Well, what can I do to it? And it can just do so much. I mean, again, I suppose speed is the only thing, but even that, as Freddie mentioned, it's not actually that slow. You think it's slow, but actually you get onto it, you go, oh, it's actually shifting around. So it's a problem.
Great choice.
Yeah, your saving grace is that they don't count for money on the points, so you can, if you would play it correctly, you can just outscore them.
Yeah.
On the primary, so that's all you got really.
Which I think is why you've got. So if you look at like Phil's Big War list and stuff, and I know some of the original Big War lists just had sort of like 3 units of 5 Ard Boys, and there was more power elsewhere, like you were saying, Johnny, like a Maw Crusher and stuff. I think people have realised actually you need those bodies to hold the objectives if you come up against this, and with the War Chancer you've got like a 4+ rally as well on the Ard Boys. So I think you've got that bit where it's like, do you know what, I'm going to struggle here, but if I can just stick enough chaff into them, or enough stuff that I might be able to hold it, like you say, just sort of flood the board. I don't know, maybe if you had like all effect or something, all the ghouls or something, you might be able to sort of flood the board and slow it down. But yeah, so really good choice there, Johnny.
Well, if you want one of those lists, Pete, I'm pretty sure there's loads of effect lists going. If you want like all the ghouls ones, I think you can probably pick one up easily on Twitter now. So
ooh. For that. I mean, I've got like
one, don't you?
I've got like 70 ghouls, but I sold my Nagash before the effect thing, and I'm still not. I didn't ask for it back. I knew it was a broken list. I knew it wouldn't be fun, so I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Oh my goodness, Johnny!
You spelled my name wrong.
Well, that's what I must have not copied that over properly. Oh, quickly add the extra T. Is that what are you on about? It's there.
You can explain my list if you want. You can try.
I love that. So Johnny, you've gone for Freddie as one of your picks.
Yeah, I mean, so this one here is one I know Freddie's a good player. This is quite embarrassing. Obviously, he's on here now, so but it's actually helpful because you can talk through your list a bit more. But I'm actually a bit of a sucker for Khorne. It's one of the armies I've never actually owned, but I love the aesthetic, and I really like the way the models. And I think they've had a bit of a glow up in the last battle tome. I think they're doing some good stuff. So yeah, but that combined with the anti-magic element in such a magic meta, I don't know. It's just, and I love you've gone through like all the little heroes as well. So I'd be interested to hear, because I don't fully understand the tech behind it. Outside of, I think it looked cool, but that was why I picked it. So I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are, or what your thinking was behind the list.
I mean, I won't completely deep dive it, just in case, because Big Phil's listening.
Fuck Big Phil, you're playing me game one. You're not threatened by me knowing what your list can do. Cheers, Freddie.
He's already worked it out. That's the thing with Big Phil. He's way ahead of me. To be honest, I thought, I thought there's a lot of good heroes here and good units that no one's using. And then some Norwegian guy brought basically my list to was it Tempest last week? I was
right,
like,
yeah.
Bastard. Like, I thought it'd be like the most original fucking list, and he stole my idea. But yeah, I mean, Korgus Cole, great piece. Scar Bloodwrath, I mean, it makes sense if you go down with like what's in it. So lots of Blood Reavers. So MSU, like, is the only way to deal with basically the board control now. Blood Warriors just don't die on a 3-up. Good up rally with the Blood Secretor, and then lots and lots of Wrathmongers who are completely and utterly overlooked. Basically, it's the same sort of list that I used to have with my cities and Beast of Chaos, where the most fun I have is just doing mortals back when you kill my stuff. These are my Jabber Scythes now. So ones to hit, do mortals back, which for me is fantastic. So kill my models all you like. I'm just bleeding mortals back all day. So I'm in my happy place with this sort of stuff.
So Freddie, so just to check, so it's ones to hit, cause mortals back, yeah?
Yeah.
Can I introduce you to a 4-up 4d6 mortal wounds?
You can go for it, yeah. But then you've got to remember though, they also blow up and do murder rolls.
On a do these do them on the 5? Is it on the 4?
Yeah, so everything's on 5.
On 5s.
But then the Scar gives all the Wrathmongers an extra roll.
Yeah.
And then Korgus can also give an extra roll as well.
Right.
So I can be rolling 3 dice for basically everything in my army.
So what Freddie's built here is a version of almost like a squig herd, but more mobile in some respects, and also a bit more tougher than with that. So, and more opportunities to do mortals. So so I really look forward to playing this in our grudge, Freddie. Thanks, mate. Just quickly, so you've gone for Gore-Tide subfaction. What's that do?
It allows Korgus Cole to do his thing. It gives +1 to wound if you're basically contesting an objective, basically.
Brilliant.
Within 8, or I forgot what the number is.
And you've gone for the pouch and null dust, which is basically just you can do an unbinding, keep unbinding if you unbind.
No.
It's the 1, 2, or 3, the doubles for the sorry, I always get them confused. So so if you
pray you get it,
just pray you hit it. Excellent. So basically, it's a board control, move in the hero phase, explode when it dies, cause mortal wounds, back army.
Yeah.
Cool.
Simple.
Fucking hell. And 2 drops.
2 drop.
Interesting. That first fucking dice roll is going to be a cracker, Freddie. It's going to be a cracker. Okay, excellent.
So ready for you, Pete.
So thanks, Johnny. Thanks. And you've gone. So Johnny, moving on to your wild card. So John Harrison with his wild card for a slow reveal here. Beasts of Chaos. So do you want to tell me why you picked this? What you put in the group chat as to why you picked this?
Yeah. So I think I played John years ago. I'm pretty sure he's Cheltenham War Chief, like one of the founding members, or if the founding member of Cheltenham War Chiefs. I hope I got that right. But John, lovely guy. But also, there's no Skaven in the list in Carnage, which I was absolutely really saddened by. I feel like I should offer up a spare player just so I can bring a Skaven list there. But it was the most Skaven list that was there in Out of Orleans, so I went for my wild card there. And there's a few Beast of Chaos players in my own club, the Bucks War Game lot, so they'll be happy to see at least some representation.
He's in the chat, so you better be nice. He's in the chat, so you better be nice. So, Johnny, do you want to talk? Do you want to talk us through what some of this list does, or?
No, I actually know what some of this does.
Okay.
So the obviously grand strategy, protect the herds don't. So as it sounds, it's just got to be there at the end. I love all the beef, so I'm a massive beef fan. Generally, and there's something great about being killed by an overly muscled cow. So Doombull as a general, and 2 great Bray Shamans with Merciless Blizzard and Hoarfrost. So I think just great little wizards. The Doombull though was just great fun. We've got a Thygor, which why not? I mean, great in the current meta, right? With the anti wizard tech, some Ungor Raiders, 6 Gorgors, again, wall of meat. They're really great. I mean, they really put out some hurt. They do die, but obviously coming back is a thing here with them. So unless you wipe the unit, they'll be coming back. So that's great.
Johnny, just for those that don't know, why is the Sigor so good into the anti-magic meta?
Oh, so it's the wizard business. I think it's makes you then re-roll the cast, or it's either doing mortal to them when they do the re-roll, isn't it?
Now it's if every successful cast within 30 inches, it does a mortal wound for every successful cast. So Nagash, theoretically, you can get 8 mortal wounds on him every time he casts.
There you go.
So it's good. He has 2 dispels, and he's a priest in this one, so he can get rid of all the invocations. His prayer's pretty good.
He can eat it in the spell, yeah. That's it, yeah, because he can eat the spells as well, right? So
brilliant.
So they're great. I'm surprised. I'm only saddened that like you could have a list with all 4 of them, like just 4 Sigor rolling around. I think that would be great fun. A Chaos Garden for all the lols. That's great. I'd love to see them. You don't see them often.
Just because you need more rend, yeah.
Yeah, 3 Dragon Ogres, 10 Ungors, the Fomeroid Crusher. And it's a lovely model there doing some business. And 10 Vesticle. I mean, you've got so many bodies there. With the Wizards Finders and the Andorian Acolytes against, he's going for the extra primal dice and the extra damage against wizards. So he's going a bit anti-wizard, and whilst also engaging in some of the primal dice business as well. So it was great fun. I think there's a lot there.
Yeah,
I think it'll catch some people out as well.
I love the sort of the Wizard Finders of Andor thing, the extra damage into wizards, because I think, again, there's some quite tanky wizards that don't mind going in for a bit of a ruck. So having the ability to do some extra damage on them, fantastic. So yeah, I can see why you've gone for that list. It's a bit of tech, a little bit of everything, a little bit of bodies. It's, I think that'd be a good fun list to play against, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be one of those ones where I think you get your face up to it, and again, it's just one of those where you're not immediately going, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
it's gonna be like a nice.
Yeah,
exactly. They have fun with this, and I think it's a good fun list.
Brilliant. Okay, and I think then your next list is who you've picked to win the whole bloody thing. So
yeah, I am sorry, Pete, because I know you have got a very similar list.
I guess that answers the question, Johnny. Do you think it's the player or the list that wins tournaments?
Yeah, in this instance, it's definitely a bit of both. I think your list is great. I just, we talked about. I'm going to ply you with tequila anyway, so you're
exactly.
Win.
Yeah, true. So talk us through Tom's list then.
Well, yeah, so you could probably help out with more of it as well. So it's Sons of Bahamut was the Breaker Tribe. The grand strat is Make the Land Tremble. That's the one where you've got to get them running or something, right? Like, so there's runs across the board, you get the grand strat. Which
absolutely, you've got to run a unit every turn. So all 5 turns, as long as you run a unit, you get your grand strat. Which previously you would only really see if you were taking, say, lots of man crushers, because you don't, it's quite easy to get the sort of the big boys bogged down. So, so he's gone for a Triumph inspired Idiots with Flags. Do you know what this one does, Johnny?
The thing is, I've had this played against. It's something about any of the banners or something you get extra stuff against, right?
Totem. So you get +1 to hit against totem. So the triple gate breaker will get +1 to hit against the units with the totem or a command model.
Right.
So so again, fantastic ability or sort of subfaction ability there. Breaker Tribe. Basically gives you that sort of the Fierce Loathings part on it. 3 Gate Breakers.
Yeah, I mean, Gate Breakers, obviously, they've got they're still decent doing DPS. One general is the Command Trait Monstrously Tough. That's extra wounds, right?
Yeah, so you go from 35 to 40. Yeah.
Yeah. Artifacts, the Glowy Shield of Protectiness. I mean, you can speak for that. Is that a ward on that guy?
No. So this is an interesting one. So it's basically, if you've got Rend 1, it takes it to 0. and if you roll a 6
Right.
to save, it bounces a mortal wound back. So it's
Pretty
quite, yeah. So, some of these low chaff units that, are Rend 1, reduce it to 0, which helps because all the Gargants are on a 4-up base save. And then, 6s to save do mortals back. So quite good, quite nice. And then this is the bit that obviously makes it the secret tech, which we're revealing now. What's he got with his Gargants, Johnny?
Well, this is it. So we've got 1 unit of Rabble Rouser, which is the Braggett's Bottle Snatchers, 12 in the unit of Squig Herd. We've got a unit of Squig Hoppers and Gobbapalooza. So,
Nice.
this is actually, it's a pretty mad little allied kind of convoy here. So I will be honest with you, Pete. I don't know why it's good, but I know it's good. So I've seen in my phones that this is some sort of secret tech, because I've definitely heard rumblings about it. But I know those units on their own are good, and I know they're good in Git. But can you explain to me why you've taken them as well?
No, because Freddie's on the call and I'm giving my list away. I know. Okay, so I'll tell you why this is working, and this is sort of giving the Gargants maybe a bit more play now. So basically, Gargants have struggled with battle tactics. So yes, you've sort of got the new GHB has given some, maybe some more achievable battle tactics, blah, blah, blah. But what this does is it gives you the opportunity to get sort of 2 or 3 battle tactics. So basically, this is a 2-drop, and the regiment can go in reserve. So turn 1, it can go in reserve, and it comes down on the start of your hero phase. Now, as long as it comes down 9 inches away and wholly within 6 of the board edge, you can place it, right? So what that means is that's your battle tactic done. So if you think you want the 3 units within a board edge, you set that up. So you basically go, cool, I'm going to set up, and I'm going to move this unit over here, I'm going to move this unit over here, and I'm going to move this unit over here. Done. Battle tactic done. My Gargants can move forward. Battle tactic done. Or your Gobbapalooza comes over and you go, cool, I'm outside of 30 because I can deploy, I can come second, I can make sure I'm tucked away, and I'm going to go for magical dominance. As long as I don't roll the double 1, I get a spell off. They just cast Mystic Shield or Arcane Bolt, whatever. Done. So there's 2 battle tactics you can do just in your setup that you can sort of go for it. You've then got basically just decent movement. So you can have more units wholly outside of your territory. Again, you can set that up. The Rabble Rouser, you can place him sort of anywhere on the board again, as long as it's within a board edge, within 6 inches, wholly outside 9. It allows the Gargants to run and charge as long as they finish closer towards them. Now, again, a lot of people are like, oh, you've got to run in a straight line towards it. No, you don't. Measure, you're 40 inches away from it. Cool, I'm now 39.5 inches away from it. I am now closer than I was. So you don't have to run towards it. The Rabble Rouser is a dirty little git as well. He is brilliant. So I've had 2 practice games last week with the Rabble Rouser. In game 1, against Mike's Big War, Mike came in with his Iron Jaw, with his 3 Gore Grunters, and he tagged the Squig Herd and the Rabble Rouser. He takes off the Squig Herd, but he loses one of the pigs in the exchange, and then the Rabble Rouser decides to punch to death one of the other Gore Grunters, and then he lost the other one due to battle shock. So straight away, I'm like, Rabble Rouser's not bad. He's 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, -1 rend, D3 damage. But he can also, once per turn, he can pick 3 units in the shooting phase, wholly within 12, and do D3 damage. Now,
I don't know the 2-up either, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just,
automatic just automatic. Yeah, he's got a 4-up save and a 4-up ward if he's outside of 6 inches of a unit, so he's quite survivable. You're thinking, oh, I'll shoot him off. He's quite survivable. So he punches off these Gore Grunters. He then gets into combat, makes a long bomb charge into Mike's War Chanter. He punches old War Chanter to death again as well. And then in the second game, playing against Gabe, I tucked him behind his Herdstone. So Gabe could only get his Ungor in, like, sort of 2 at a time. So he punched that unit to death and only took a few wounds. So basically, I've upgraded my Rabble Rouser to, like, Chief Corporal Rabble Rouser, and I need to get him a little beer bottle for every time he punches someone to death. So it's that extra movement. It screens if you need it. You don't have to set up in reserve. You could just decide to set up with screens, but you do have to set them all up in reserve if they're going into reserve. You can't just say, "Oh, I'll put one in reserve and I'll keep these out." So you've got some screens, 10 squig hoppers, 10-inch movement plus D6 plus a run. They're going to go hold an objective, or they're going to screen out. Mortals as they're retreating out. It basically just gives extra movement to the Gargants and some screens as well, and some good tech. And
I think it's the extra options, right? Because the gate breakers are still themselves. It's still such a wall of like wounds to get through.
Yeah.
They can do so much like holding the objectives and whatnot. So it's giving them the extra tech and the extra options and behind, or like you said, all the different things you could do. So no, I think I think it's got a lot of options now, and I think it helps what would be an army which is being in a tough spot potentially in some other terms. It brings them back into the conversation, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is purely that it potentially gives you 2 straight off battle tactics and potentially a third one with just being outside of your territory. I think Tom's gone for the triple gate breaker, so he's gone for one war scroll there. He'll be the +1 to hit against units with command options, etc. I've gone a little bit different. I've gone 2 gate breakers and a beast smasher. So
Nice.
yeah, I've decided to play a little bit different. I tried out the Kraken Eater. I thought, sod it, I'll go for the Beast Smasher, because you can have the option of doing like 1 attack into a monster and it's 5d6 damage. And it's like, and
pulverizing strikes, so good.
Yeah. So 3s, 2s, minus whatever rend, and if it goes off 5d6. The other bit is, and fair enough, you could do on the 4 up. You get the 4d6 mortals. Yes, that's probably better. Yes, that is better. It's a 50-50. I think Tom said he was going to just bring like a coin and just toss it and get his opponent to call it in the air type thing. The other thing, though, that it does is it does the 2 monstrous actions against a monster with the Beast Smasher. So again, potentially you could go Roar, you could go Strike Last, you could Colossal Slam them, move them around. So I think it just gives me a little bit more play, and also it gives me a bid for a triumph. Whereas Tom's 2,000 points on the thing, I am absolutely 1,000% certain Tom will get a better result out of it than me because he's a much better player, and that's that. So so you're calling Tom for the win there. So okay, so and understandably why. Oh, hang on, we've lost it. Okay, so. Moving on, Freddie's picks. So, and thank you for everyone who's watching. We've got like sort of 20 viewers, which is fantastic. Will your list be picked by Freddie? Who knows? Let's go through. Brilliant. I was about to say I've not given you any list there. I've not saved it. So you've gone for Nick Thompson as your first pick.
No, another BC Chaos player, but it was the closest sort of. I love Nick as a person, and I thought this piece of Chaos list was actually pretty damn good, to be honest. But he's even brought a Shag off, which, if he can make that work, kudos. But yeah, Beast or Cardinal to come out of 7. Trumpet, you summon someone in. Hailstorm, so half run move charge, well, it used to be anyway. Wild Rampages, cease explode. He's got all the shamans with Hoarfrost, and then 6 Lightened on this. That's probably what I missed out on the weekend, is some Zangor to stop. It's a bit of OBR anti-tech, so you can turn off command abilities.
Oh, nice.
Which actually pretty huge against them.
Yeah.
3 lots of Dragon Ogres. I think they are actually very good, so I'm glad someone's actually repping them.
I
think they're a bit overlooked at the minute. Cockatrice can be game winning.
So talk us through the Cockatrice, because they jumped on the scene when the Bok book came out, and then if you didn't play Bok at the start, they sort of disappeared. They're in some slaves list, but what's the Cockatrice do, Freddie?
So basically, start of the combat phase. If you're within 6 on a 4 up, you could only hit on 6s, and you take D3 mortal wounds as well.
Huge.
So
Huge.
It is just game winning. So unfortunately, when I needed them, they didn't roll 4 up, but there is potential there that it just stops a lot of grand strats. So anything delicate like 6 angles will be hidden by a Cockatrice. And then again, Sigor, anti-magic, as well as being a good priest. He's got curse on it, so That thing will just be mortal wounding everyone, and then also he's got a great prayer which halves counting on objectives.
Brilliant.
And everyone takes D3 as well, I think. So you can start playing around with Soul Blight lists. And then the Dirge Horn is -1 to wound now, I believe. Hold it within 12, and it keeps going bigger.
I mean, if me or Tom went into this list, we're in for a bad day at the office, I think.
Yeah.
If that Cockatrice gets that off and we're 6s to hit, -1 to wound, like, that's a bad day at the office for us.
Yeah, I played Gargant Player game 2 and it just popped off and you ain't doing anything. Yeah, it's huge.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so, and also Nick's absolutely a true gent as well of the game.
He is. Absolutely.
So, it was what, he wins best sports. He's just a nice guy. He's been around the scene for a long time. I had the pleasure of playing him at Slaughter 2 years ago, and we had a fantastic game. And even when he was rolling 10-inch charges with his Annihilators and lifting all my toys off, I still had a fantastic time. So lovely to see him running a filthy list that's being picked for recognition. So well done, Nick. So your next list. One of my Mad Lad club mates.
So there's a bloke at Bash that runs a very similar list, and again, I think it's underappreciated. I think against certain matchups, the Ogre list will never go 5-0 just because of some of the matchups, but against certain lists, this is a very good like middle table bully. So you can definitely get 4-1. So lots of 6 Ogre Gluttons. So they're in Meat Feast, I believe. So they're getting 4-up charge mortals. You got the Fellwater Trogoth. I believe he's there just to give -1 to save and -1 to hit.
It doesn't seem like it's copied, but yeah, he's running 4 6s of ogres gluttons. I think it was.
Four lots of 6s. Yeah,
it's just not sort of copied it properly, but there it is.
Exactly. And then you've got Firebelly, who's doing a -1 to hit or hold it within 8.
Yeah.
You've got the Tyrant, who's got the rack. Brawler Guts means he's charging on 3-ups. The mortal wounds.
3-up on the charge.
Yeah.
And then the Stonehorn is still a Stonehorn. End of the day, it still hits like an absolute truck.
On a 4-up.
The monstrous actions are something that you have to worry about. We're then flying over everyone.
Yeah.
A good player with that can cause a lot of damage. I'll be interested to see what he does with it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm having the pleasure of playing this at club night tomorrow night, so I think it'll blend through my Gargants. I think with the number of attacks on the Gluttons, the -1 with the Fellwaters that can't be modified, it's
Yeah, I mean 6 Gluttons will get close to felling a Mega Gargant in one.
Yeah, Tom's in the chat. Tom's in the chat. He said he's currently painting it, so I might tell him tomorrow that he can't run it if it ain't painted.
Wasn't it Tom that used to run like a Hawaiian?
Yeah,
beach?
That's the one. Yeah.
Is that still the?
Yeah, it's still the vibe. So I'm looking forward to seeing that fully painted up. But yeah, I think that's a really good wildcard pick. That could in the right matchup and stuff. It's going to cause some problems.
If you look at all the lists, there's a lot of melee lists. There's not many shooting or heavy magic lists, so he definitely has a shot to do some damage.
Yeah. I mean, ironically, he's the Gluttons themselves are actually quite good into shooting because they're -1 to wound with the with the banner, and there's hardly any shooting in the tournament. But yeah, I think that's a really nice list. I'm glad I considered picking it for mine, so I'm glad that you did. So yeah, Tom 4-1 there. We expect to see it. And then another Mad Lad, Freddie.
I know. It's they seem to be writing good lists. I don't know if that's all you're doing. Yeah. No,
this is a 5-0 list. This has got 5-0 written all over it.
I'm sure it's
No pressure, Mike.
I'll let Mike off because he has been running Big War and he's been trying to push the Destruction Lads for a long time. So kudos to him. Gobstrak. He's just there for the battle tactic and just ruining people's days. Wergog Prophet. I mean, there's no model more fun than him. So I'll let him off that he's named all these.
He won a best sports at one of the GTs a couple of weeks ago, and he's going for another one, I think. So he's like, here's my filthy list, but look, everyone's got a little name.
It's always nice to hide behind it. What double war chant? I mean, it's a very similar sort of style to Big Phil's. Does battle tactics incredibly well.
He's gone for stabbers over shooters, which personally I think is the correct choice.
Yeah, got fanatics in there as well.
Yeah,
just to mess with you as well. And then he's got a kill bow, which I want to know what it does. Like, I've never seen one on the table.
Not a lot. Not a lot is what it does.
Mike's in the chat. Mike, how many? What do you think your kill bow is going to do this weekend? I mean, it's a hero. No, it's not, because it's not. It's only in the battalion. It's the hero, so it's not a hero. Yeah. It does stuff. Mike says it does jack shit. I mean,
could have gone for a triumph. I think that'd been a better use of the 80 points, to be honest.
You could have taken out the kill bow and the suffocating grave tide, and literally just put in like 5 more our boys, or another fanatics, or what. There was lots of options.
Oh, Phil has emerged from his game of practice to shout out saying shooters de-leveled and incarnate earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, chuck some Hoarfrost on there. It's gonna on shooters, and roll enough dice.
Shooters. You can't do shooters.
Oh no, of course it's melee only, isn't it? Yeah. So well done. So Mike's basically taken it so that he can try and punch me and Tom in the face with our Gargant list, basically.
He'll do that, yeah.
Yeah, he'll do that. I mean, you're rolling 35 dice, and although it's capped at 12 wounds, it's 12 wounds.
It's one of those lists where you have to actually, it will do 5 battle tactics, so to stop it, you have to come at it.
Yeah.
And then he just hits you. It's a very good list.
Yeah, 160 wounds. His army looks great as well. His Hugh Jackman. He looks like a little Wolverine. He's got this sort of Wolverine model from the one of the Underworld war bands, I think it is, and he's using that as the war chanter and stuff. He was the one that got his face punched in by a little rabble rouser the other day. I think the bad thing for Mike was it's his rabble rouser that he's lent me. Yeah. But yeah, I think Mike's he's gonna hate me for saying it, but he went 4-1 at GT recently. I genuinely, and no piss take at all, he knows his army inside and out. I don't see why he couldn't 5-0 with this. With the right matchups and stuff. I
think the problem with Carnage is there's going to be there's the potential for such crazy battle plans. That, like anyone could go 5-0 just on the fact you might.
Do you know what? I'm gonna change what I've said. I think he could win the tournament because of the extras that Carnage has. So painting points, the secondaries, the best sports and stuff. Yeah. He's got a chance that, even if he goes 4-1, he could still take the tournament out if he goes for all the extras. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, great list, great guy, great list, great guy.
Guess we'll see if the peak curse is real then, right? So Mike saying 3-2.
No, he'll go 2-3 and fucking steal the rabble rouser after round 1 or something. He's gone for acolytes there. He's gone for a warlord. He's gone for the vanguards, and he's gone for the Iron Jaws fist. So he's just getting some extra, abilities to use command points and stuff. 13 drops. Well played. So, and then this is your wild card, Freddie.
It is a bit of a bonkers one. To be honest, I think this again is. I don't know if this will go 0-5 or 4-1, to be honest. But what this list is actually is very good at doing battle tactics that probably not most people clock.
Right.
In terms of, so Emerald Host does every battle round does D3 mortals to a certain amount of heroes or whoever you want it to do. Pennant of the Fell, Wind. I can't remember what all these done. I believe it's like -1 to wound or something like that. Or anyway, but the main key points are the Spirit Host. So he's got a block of 6 and a block of 3. So there's a battle tactic for Nighthaunt, which if you kill, I think, a monster or a hero with Spirit Host, you get a battle tactic. So
nice,
he's opening the door on that.
Yeah.
He's got a black coach, so you just got to control an objective with a black coach.
Cool. So that's 2 battle tactics done. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got Arquidge the Drowner in there for teleporting.
Yeah.
And bringing it with him. So again, there's multiple ways built into this where he can basically just farm battle tactics.
Yeah.
Which I think at the minute is the way to play. If you can get 5 battle tactics and a grand strat, then you're in a good place.
Yeah.
You're never going to get tabled. So
yeah.
His little bit of tech there is he's got the Mortis Term Nexus, which I think moves 28. Or it sets up 12. Or it sets up like 20, moves 8. So you can threaten it turn 1. And basically with the Emerald Host and the Term Nexus, it can basically pop small heroes turn 1, turn 2.
Brilliant.
So something to look out for.
That's your Hoarfrost or your Blizzard guy gone potentially. Yeah. Cool.
That's one way to deal with it.
Yeah, love it. Okay, yeah, I can see why you picked that as a wild card. Brilliant. So, So those were your picks. Forgetting all the lists you picked, who do you think is who's your person to take it out? If it's not you, obviously, because you'll be in with a chance.
I always have my faith in Big Phil to pull out the wins when he needs it, and his list is very good. So
okay,
he's always got my faith.
Okay, back in one for Phil, one for Tom. Nobody's picked me yet. Love it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on the show. No. So, okay, moving on to my picks then. So, I tried to avoid picking the same as has already been picked. So this was just a random list that I liked the look of. So, Dave running his Flesh Eater Courts, not Nagash. So he's running Gristlegore. So this makes the big boys battle line. And so he's gone for a Ghoul King on Royal Terrorgeist. He's gone for the Archregent. Then he's gone for a Terrorgeist, a Zombie Dragon, another Zombie Dragon, an Incarnate, and then the Barricade just so he can set up a little bit of blocking. And also so the Incarnate can eat the spell as well to level up. So he's gone for the 1930 points. So he's looking to go for his Triumph there, which is the +1 to hit, +1 to wound even. So I just think this has got potential to be quite fast moving. Will hit like a truck when it does. The Incarnate can really block in some armies. Coast
is the run and charge, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. Doing
some stuff.
He's got Merciless Blizzard on the Archregent, so that if late game he decides he wants to pull him off the throne. Don't know whether that sounds quite wrong. Pulls him off the throne, but yeah. So if he wants to move off the throne and get into the game with it, he can obviously do some summoning in there. So he's going to be summoning, potentially some Flayers or some Horrors, some Courtiers, etc. Can't summon Royal Beast Flayers anymore, which is a shame because they're quite tasty. But I just think it's a nice big monster list that's going to do the monster mash. It's going to move forward. It's going to delete some stuff. It's going to cause some problems. So Dave's list was one of my picks.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he plays that because
the
Incarnate wants to be launched forward with all the dragons.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that Incarnate goes wild, he'll be having a field day with all those dragons on the
yeah. There is that risk. He's got to keep a 3-inch measure everywhere to make sure he's not piling in. And I mean, who at a tournament in Game 5 would put an Incarnate next to a monster, lose the general, and then just shake their opponent's hand and say, "Yeah, good game," and them going, "What are you on about? You've still got like a Maw Crusher and you've got an Incarnate," and it's like, yeah, they're just fighting each other for the next 3 turns, mate. Definitely learned a lesson from that, which cost me the 4-1. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, so Dave's list, really love that, and potentially, because it will lose. It'll lose the Behemoth keyword to make them battle line, so he can put it in the battle regiment.
He can, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking then, thinking, so that's going to be a 1-drop, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Yeah, 1-drop. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So 1-drop. So controlling the turn order as well. So yeah. So I think that's got some play in it. It'll be interesting to see what that does. Again, like you were saying, Freddie, it could go 0-5 or it could go 3-2-4-1. I think. I've gone for a big wild player, we've all. Yeah, I feel bad for Gareth. No, I feel bad for Gareth. He's the only person that's not had his big wild list picked. So apologies, Gareth. Just so you know as well, the big wild players have got their own little mini tournament going on, or their own mini competition. So they're trying to see who can stare off the most models. And I think they're going to have like a little trophy or something that they're going to do. So so they're playing their own little mini game in amongst it, the four of them. So Alex, he's gone for Big War, Grand Strategy War, as we spoke about. He's gone for the Mega Boss on Maw Crusher though, so he's gone for the big beat stick. Double War Chanter, Wergog Prophet. He's gone for the Swamp Caller Shaman with the Potgrot. So interesting one. And you'll see why in a second. He's gone for that because he's got the Bolt Boys. So he's gone for the ranged threat as well as the monster to sort of come around. 6 Gore Grunters in there, a load of Ard Boys, some Brutes. Brutes are in an interesting place. I just don't think they've got the movement for this list personally, but he can screen up. He can, if they come into them, they've got the reach and stuff. By the way, Ard Boys have disappeared from the GW website. So we're definitely getting new Ard Boys. 13 drops again. Alex has been pushing it around Big War as well. He's gone 4-1 with the last GHBs with it. So so I think Alex should be taking this to a 4-1 minimum for this list. No pressure. I've gone for Richie as my my other pick. So this is not the Richie Nagash running 6,000 ghouls. Obviously, due to the change, he's had to change it up. So Soul Blight Gravelord. So he's gone for Nagash, and he's just gone for 60 zombies instead. So as opposed to running loads of Feck, he's pivoted Nagash, Vampire Lord, Necromancer, 60 zombies, and 2 units of 3 Fellbats with the Corpse Cart. The Banshees, a little bit of tech in there from Nighthaunt. So eating some endless spells there and stuff. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is Andy Hughes' list that went 5-0.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the same list.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, Richie's a good player. He's pivoted last minute because he has been running the Feck list. I'm sure he'll, got practice games with this and he'll do well with it.
I mean, the big the small mini trick with this list is the portals and the Maelstrom.
Yeah.
So because the Maelstrom levels up and blows up at the end of the phase, and the portal you can send stuff through the end of the phase as well. You can just fire it through the portal and blow up.
Yeah.
So it will catch quite a few people out.
So basically, Nagash will power it up by doing all the spells. Then he launches it through the portals, and then it's in your territory, and it blows up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to be looking at if you're going to dispel something, dispel the portal or the Maelstrom. Otherwise, you're getting in your face.
I mean, the portal definitely, because he's going to be doing hand of dust every day of the week. So
yeah.
To stay out of 21.
Yeah. I mean, also stay outside of 18 as well, because you've got that mortal wound spell that's you roll a dice for every wound, and it's on a 5-up. It causes a mortal as well.
Is that Spirit?
Yeah. Not Spirit Gale. Spirit Gale's the board wide 1 or 2. The Nagash has got another one where you roll a number of dice equal to the wounds characteristic, and for every 5-up, it's a mortal wound. I got stung by it playing one of my mates the other day with my Gargants. He rolled 35 dice. He did 15 mortal wounds. It's only got a range of 18. If I'd have stayed 1 inch back, I'm outside trouble. I think Richie will do well with this list. I don't think he'll be winning any friends with it because 60 zombies.
I mean, that 60 zombie block is basically unkillable.
Yeah.
It's going to be fighting in the hero phase and the combat phase.
Yeah.
So just watch out for that, and then
6-inch piling.
I was going to say they've got 6-inch piling, which they can run and then still pilot, which is I've had.
Do they have a 6-inch piling anymore?
Do they not?
Unless they're taking it away.
I think they've lost that, but what they've got now is they've got 6s to hit explode
and pulled into the grave,
and then 6s to wound explode.
Yeah,
and then when you actually hit them, on 5-ups they explode.
Yeah.
So they basically become like a magma drough. So there's 60 wounds there, so you can take 20 mortals back, just trying to kill the unit, and then they come back on 30 of them come back.
Right. Stu's just said, yeah, they lost the piling. So thanks for Trog. So
what's his grand strat?
His grand strat is win. No, spellcasting savant.
Okay, so he's got to keep his vampire lord alive.
Yeah.
Which, because I know a lot of them were doing the summoned one, but it's actually quite hard to do it because he's got such a little unit. So spellcasting savant's the easier one.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, they're obviously there's some armies that will be able to just pick that off, but you know, yeah. It's a filthy list. I expect to see it go 4-1-5-0 minimum, and it's one drop.
It is, yeah. It's,
just to really sort of so yeah, I can see why Andy managed to get 5-0s with that. It's just and then Trog's saying, Stu's saying, Corpse Cart gives the mortal wounds on 6s to wound.
Yeah.
And then these are my weird lists. So I picked one of my mad club mates again, just because he's named it all, and it's just a bonkers list. So this is Brad. His list is called Fly My Pretties Fly. So this is a Wizard of Oz themed list. So his allegiance is the wonderful Allegiance of Oz, which is Soulbright Glavelords. So Brad's in the chat. So good evening, Brad. So he's gone for the Wicked Witch, played by Manfred. So he's got Manfred with Spirit Gale. He's got the Scarecrow, played by Vampire Lord. It's going to get to the bonkers bit shortly. So because currently it's like, so another Vampire Lord, Hoarfrost on there. He's got, Merciless Blizzard, Dorothy Gale, played by the Necromancer with Waste Away. And then this is the bonkers bit. 3 Fellbats, 6 Fellbats, 6 Fellbats, 3 Fellbats, 3 Fellbats, 10 Direwolves, 40 zombies, 20 zombies. Now, one of you will correct me, or Brad definitely will. Do the Fellbats get a pre-game move?
It's a pre-game move, or do they retreat out of combat?
What? Yeah. What's the Brad? What's the gimmick? What's the secret tech with Fellbats?
They can retreat and charge.
Oh, okay. Retreat and charge. Okay, there we go.
Get extra attacks each time. Yeah, and then they can. In addition, at the end of any phase, any models were slain by wounds caused by this attack. Add 1 attacks to this, so you get extra attacks.
So retreat and charge and extra attacks. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they can heal.
So they're going to be they're a pain of a unit basically, and they're just going to be spread across the board. 6 units. The game's changed since coherency's become 6s now. It's just changed the game because there's units that suddenly now are like, you know what, that's quite viable. That can block a board off. I mean, 6 Gore Grunters, for example, can block off most of a board now. So these Fellbats, and then he's got 40 zombies and 20 zombies. So, it's weird because you don't see that many Fellbats, and I guarantee, Brad, they're all 3D printed, I imagine. But, plenty of bodies. It's going to be tough to shift. He's got some great magic in there. And he's named everything. I haven't actually seen the army yet, so I don't know if it is painted in a Wizard of Oz theme. But Trog saying they're summonable, so they can come back as well. So yeah, so this is just going to be this is just going to be a recursion list. It's just going to gum you up and just sort of score battle tactics like we were talking about. I guess the one big thing, he's got quite good movement with it, but I was going to say trying to get something like have more outside of your territory than in is going to be possibly a challenge with some stuff. But yeah. And I missed some stuff. He's got the Vicarious Bloodborne. They do get the pre-game move, don't they?
I think so, yeah. I've never actually seen him on the table.
Yeah. So I think they do get the pre-game move. Double battle.
Is he Vicross as well?
Legion of Night. Legion of Night.
He's counter-charging then.
Yeah.
So all these units can counter-charge.
Counter-charge, brilliant. Yes, the Vicross Bloodborne do. They get a 10-inch movement. So that's 6 models. Again, stringing out that gets a pre-game move 10 inches. So it can take an objective or, just try and sort of block up the board. So, yeah, I think it's a great little weird list. I think it'll do well. So looking forward to seeing that, unless I'm playing against it. But Brad is a lovely guy, so there is that. And then this is my other weird list. So Mr. Meadows. I don't know whether it's weird list, weird guy, or great list, weird guy, or just it's Louis for those who have another pleasure. So he's gone Fire Slayers. So he's the only Fire. I think there was one Fire Slayers player. So he's gone for Lofnir. He's gone for one Magmadroth. Oh, but have a look at this. He's got an Incarnate. The filthy bastard's taken Magmadroths with an Incarnate. So he's got one Rune Master, and then he's got a Magmadroth. He's got a Magmadroth, 10 Hearthguard Berserkers, and then an Incarnate. So he's basically just decided to bring few models and run big lads.
It's basically a list that he was running a year ago.
Yeah.
That he just hasn't had time to update yet.
Well, he moved to Khorne recently, so I'm surprised. I was surprised to see the Fire Slayers. But yeah, so obviously he can't make his own Incarnate go wild because he doesn't have any magic. Yeah, no. So yeah, it's an interesting one. He could end up with someone else casting Rapture on him and causing his Incarnate to go wild and attack himself. So that'll be interesting. Louis, well known for his careful, meticulously planned out moves. I just thought that was an interesting one. I think it's a load of Magmadroths and an Incarnate. It's almost as if I'm allowed to bring an Incarnate to Carnage, so I will. So yeah, and then I picked Mike as my winner as well. So yeah, Mike Chatterton, I picked him as my winner. So I won't go over his list because we've already done it, but yeah, I picked Mike as my winner as well. Because I think he'll pick up those secondaries, and I think he'll pick up the points for painting and for best sports as well, and he'll do well in the game. So I think, with the combination of the all-rounder, I think Mike could be a winner. So we've picked between us, we've got Tom Maudsley. He's never getting best sports, let's be honest. He could go 5-0. He ain't getting best sports. No, Tom's lovely. Tom's lovely. Freddie, remind me who you picked for yours.
I went Big Phil.
Big Phil. Again, lovely bloke. And I've gone for Mike. So really, there are three guys there who have all got the ability to pick up sportsmanship votes. I think out of the three, Phil's just painting his army this week and next week. So God knows what state that'll be in. So I don't know about the painting. I think Tom's borrowing his army, so it might preclude him from some painting points. Similar to me, I'm disqualified from painting points, really, because I didn't paint it myself. But yeah, so I think it'd be interesting. So I think Mike might edge it on the all-roundedness of it if he can win all his games as well. Remember, everyone, the secondaries are worth half a win each. So
it's the ability to score the secondaries as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's so much there, and there's so many of them where, well, as you know, if you play into the secondaries, you very much hamper your ability to win. Generally.
Yeah, and also denying. So getting your secondary is worth 5 points, and denying your opponent is worth 5 points. So it's definitely worth thinking about. I mean, even with my Gargant list, and again, Tom with his Tom Maudsley with his Gargant list, he can do one of the secondaries because he's got shooting attacks. So one of the secondaries is do 3 shooting attacks into the same unit and cause a wound, and it's quite high rend. So even with his Gargant list, there's the potential of picking up some secondaries and stuff. So so I think definitely night before, have a look at those secondaries, because going 3-2 and getting all your secondaries could put you in, could put you close to a podium. So it's definitely worth having a think about. Phil saying those shooters are going to die. Yeah, probably. Hugh says the secondary game is what he's playing. Hugh will pick up like a ton of painting points as well. So, and good sportsmanship. So Hugh, you're fine, mate. So that's our list review. Stop sharing screen there. And Hugh will pick up 0 game wins. I don't know, Hugh. You always usually get at least one, mate. You get at least one. He plays Seraphon as well, so he should really be doing more. But he goes for the painting. Lovely bloke.
I do like the fact that none of us picked Seraphon in any of our.
Do you know what? I think it's an interesting one. I think if Seraphon had been piloted by James is saying rude here. James being because he's running Seraphon, and I need to be careful because he is. James is. So I've asked a couple of players to jump on post Carnage to sort of give a review of how their tournament went, and James has kindly volunteered to be one of them. But I think if Mike Stewart was coming with his Seraphon Incarnate list, I think we'd have all been saying Mike Stewart's in the top 3 or 4, players that we were saying to win it. I think the players of the caliber of players who we've sort of picked have gone for different lists. If they were taking Seraphon, I think we'd be saying Seraphon. Would be taking it out. But also, it's an interesting one, and probably the same in some of your group chats. But Seraphon was supposed to take out every event and stuff, and they're just not there. OBR and Soulblight are the ones to beat, I think, with Big War, closely coming up behind it. Thoughts?
I can't argue that. I just don't. I'm one of those ones who don't think the Incarnate is the best Seraphon list.
No.
But maybe it's. Mike's proven it so far, but I'll be interested to see if anyone else comes up with something different.
Yeah.
And if that becomes a big bad, which I think it would do.
Yeah, Croak was obviously the Croak bomb and pre-nerfs and stuff. That was sort of reaching out and lifting toys all off the table. Phil saying he was going to take Seraphon, but it's so boring. It was your first 5-1, Phil. 5-1, first 5-0. You had to pivot to Seraphon. Blackout.
I tell you the big one. I think Richard Wigmore has still not got his first 4-1 yet.
Okay.
And this is the first time he has brought something truly filth. Truly horrific. So if he doesn't, I think we can all mock him.
Clip that, Phil. Clip that and show it to him.
Yeah.
It's one of those, isn't it? And you guys will know this, but if you bring the big filth, you kind of have to, you have to sort of follow through with it, don't you? You can't hide behind it. It's an interesting one. Yeah, but Seraphon not really there. I think I'm surprised there's not more OBR. With just one list in there, 5 Soulblight Gravelord lists, 4 Big War. It'll be an interesting one. This one, I think it's maybe a bit more of a level playing field once you come out of the sort of maybe the top 4 tables after round 1, 2. I think there could be. I think you could be seeing some sort of real movement and a nice fat middle there, I think. Yeah. Phil's saying Rich has taken Mike's list. Yeah, we know. That's why we're taking the piss out of him, mate. So if he doesn't go 4-1 as a minimum with it, we will be mocking him for it. But I'm looking forward to Carnage. I can't believe it's only, it's a week and a bit away. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be great. It's a shame Alex couldn't make it. Phil, you're asking if Alex is going to do the draw tonight or Friday or whatever. I don't know is the answer. I was going to ask him live on the show, but obviously we're not going to do the draw now. Watch all the viewers drop to 0. But we're not going to do the draw now. Alex, you'll have to tweet Alex and ask him. He might still be stuck in London or whatever, I don't know. But unfortunately, he's not made the show. So thank you very much, Freddie, for stepping in and giving some insight. You are our resident expert of lists, so you knew what was going on with some of them. I just think, to be honest, Phil, I think I'd prefer Saturday morning, although it makes no difference because I'm grudged with Freddie. So I'm playing Freddie no matter what with his movement and mortals. So I'm going for the submarine, the classic submarine, the classic. The classic 2-3 submarine, where I lose my first 3 games and then maybe turn up on Sunday. So, Freddie, any other tournaments that you've got going on after Carnage? Where will we see you at?
Meant to be Bobo after that, and then it's Six Nations after that.
Wow. Okay.
So, and then after Six Nations, who knows?
Yeah, not got like War in the Heartlands planned or anything like that this year.
No, I've got a for War in the Heartlands actually. Yeah, I think I've got Heat Warrior Lodge finals.
Right. Yeah, I didn't qualify for that one. I played my 1 game and then had to leave with horrendous toothache. Johnny, what about you? What tournaments you got coming up, mate?
I am doing War in the Heartlands. That's in November, right?
Yeah.
So I've got that one coming up. Before that, Steve Curtis is running a local kind of 2-dayer in near. Well, he's about 2 minutes from his house in Texworth, which is like a little 20, 30 man one. So that'll be a bit of practice before War in the Heartlands.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me for next one. But yeah, I haven't actually had a game with a new GHB yet.
You haven't
So
had a
my first
game?
game's
Oh my
tomorrow.
god! Oh bloody hell! It's wild,
Life has
mate.
got in the way.
It's
Yeah, so I'm
wild.
going. I'm going tomorrow with. I've got 3 Grey Seers, a Plague Priest, and like all the Blizzard and all the Skitter Leap, and I'm gonna just throw some dice around tomorrow. So yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be good fun.
Oh, brilliant! Excellent. I think I've got, and there's still some tickets available. I think so. I've got the Gaff Jamboree in Hull, where all 3 members of the Gaff team might be there, maybe more. Who knows? There's a few of us from Mad going. So what I would say is definitely get a ticket to the Hull event in October if you can. I think it'll be brilliant. The guys are top notch. I'm not doing War in the Heartlands unless something changes with my dissertation situation or my work situation. I get a job and I get my dissertation finished sooner. Got Carnage Teams in November. Yeah, so that's going to be a good one. That's the weekend before War in the Highlands or the weekend after. I can't remember it, but it's super close together. So yeah, got that, and then nothing else this year. Then until the Brothers' War in March, but.
Bloodshed. You doing Bloodshed?
Yeah, just a reminder. Yeah, Bloodshed tickets are on sale on Friday for those that are previously attended. I think, yeah,
1st September.
1st September. Okay, so it's not this Friday; it's the Friday after. Yeah, so Bloodshed, I'll definitely be getting a ticket for that. Great event run by great TOs. Lovely guys. I won't be setting up the tables because I fucked my knee like last time doing that. Yeah, brilliant story. So I had surgery 6-7 weeks ago. The surgery has failed on my knee, so I've got to try. I've got to wait 6 weeks before I can be seen by the consultant again. So it's locking up and giving away again. And what seemed to be the trigger was playing some Warhammer the other day. So I think there's something in the movement of putting my models back in my bag. It's just triggering the knee.
As they come off, as they just get killed.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So maybe I might need Johnny. I might need a separate side table for my tables, or I might have to play on a particular table with some space next to it because I can't bend down. But yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We're sorry if your list didn't get reviewed this evening. It's probably because it was shit. No, I'm joking. Obviously, there's not enough time to cover every list. I mean, we've done like sort of 15 there or so between us, and that's taken us sort of an hour and a half. I can't tell you when Alex is going to release all the rest of the lists, unfortunately, because he's not here. So I don't know when he's going to release the list. Hopefully soon. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. Phil would like the list revealed next week. Phil, stop stressing, mate. You've got it. It's in the bag. You've been backed. You're in there, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing Phil, actually. I'm looking forward to seeing you as well, Freddie. It's been a while since...
it's been too long.
Yeah, since I've seen both of you, actually. It feels like forever. Johnny, I haven't seen you in since Warhammer World Teams, which was fantastic. Yeah. Fucking loved it. Team Warhammer is the best Warhammer.
It is. Yeah.
Like, it's a cliche, but it is the best. It's just absolutely brilliant. So yeah, it's a shame that the England captain couldn't join us to talk about his tournament this evening. Especially as one of his players was on the stream, and some of them are in the chat. I won't be doing a show next week because I'm going to be getting ready for an interview. I've got an interview next week on Thursday, which I want to prep for. So the next show will be post Carnage, where I'll be joined by 3 lovely guests, one of whom's been on the show before, Mark Ward, just because he's funny. He's hilarious to have on. I've got James and I've got Keir coming on the show. So 2 guys who've never been on the show before. I'm looking forward to hearing how their games went. So if you play against them, be prepared that they may reveal how bad your dice rolls were live on stream. if you're listening to this on the podcast, thanks very much. Head over to the Twitch channel, like and subscribe. But yeah, no show next week due to interview prep. Fingers crossed, I will get a fucking job soon. But yeah, thanks to my guests. Thanks to everyone who joined us. Thanks to the chat for joining in. I should type something in the chat because you get like, thank you, chat. Helps with the algorithm. Thanks you. Much appreciated. And good evening, everybody. And I've not recorded it. No, I have. I genuinely have. I remembered that. So yeah, I'll pop this up live to tomorrow anyway. But yeah, thanks everyone. And speak to you soon.